Welcome to the History Lord. You join us here today, and we're in my little den in my house in Warwickshire, and we thought we'd do an occasional series, a little mini-series, all about the origins of phrases. So today we're going to have a look at 3 or 4 phrases and where they came from. So let's start. The first phrase we're going to look at is money for old rope. So this is an old naval or nautical term, and if you were senior enough as a seaman to be on a ship for many years, one of your perks was you got the discarded ropes that they couldn't use for the rigging anymore. So when you got back into port, they'd change the ropes over. If the ropes were too frayed to use as rigging for ships, they'd give it to some of the more senior sailors, and they would then take it to the merchants and the traders along the docks, and they would sell off the rope. It was a perk of their job. Now, it was easy money. They didn't have to work hard. Traders and people like that were always looking for ropes that were useful to them but not to shipping, and so they made a little bit of money. As when people make money, some people get jealous, and they accused them of making money from old rope. And that's where the phrase comes from. It's a nautical term, and that's all it is. Flash in the pan. So flash in the pan is an old army term, and it means someone who is exuberant and, can fizzle and spark, but actually nothing really happens. And it comes from some of the original muskets that the army used. To fire a bullet, they had to put gunpowder in a pan on the top, a flash pan on the top of their musket, and that in turn lit some more gunpowder in the barrel, and that shot the bullet or the object or the ball out of the front. Now, flash in the pan meant exactly what it says. The powder in the pan flashed, but didn't ignite the gunpowder in the barrel. So therefore nothing was fired. You can stand in front of it and you'd never be hurt. So that was it. And it became synonymous with people who say a lot, do a lot, but there's nothing to show for it. So there we are. That is flash in the pan. Freeze the balls off a brass monkey. Now this one seems a little bit rude, and it can be these days. It's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey, but it actually has a fairly innocent origin. The boys who were employed on naval ships during war were called powder monkeys. They were small enough to go through gullies so they could deliver the gunpowder and the cannonballs to those men who were firing the cannons at the enemy. In turn, the brass plate that had 16 divots in it to hold 16 cannonballs, and then more cannonballs on top, they form a pyramid, were called brass monkeys. That was the nickname they were given. They were made of brass because it didn't rust and it didn't react with the iron cannonballs. Sadly though, it contracted and expanded quicker with heat and the cold. And so if it contracted too quickly, the cannonballs would fall off. And so hence the phrase, to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. And it's as simple as that. Pull your finger out. Again, it's a naval and military phrase and dates back to the days where cannons were first used. To load a cannon, you had to put gunpowder in a little ignition hole, and then it was plugged with a wooden plug. But during times of battle, to save time, men wouldn't put the little wooden plug in, they'd just push it down with their finger. And the very impatient artillery, waiting to fire it, would shout out to the men, "Pull your finger out!" And it simply means, get a move on, hurry up. There you go. 4 phrases and their origins. Do hope you enjoy these videos and this little mini series that we're doing. If you do, please subscribe. If you want to see what we do elsewhere, then behind the camera at the moment there's James, and he's on Last Line Films. That's his YouTube and TikTok channel. It's also his website as well. And have a look, see what I do at historylord.co.uk. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.